Hello and welcome to the Solo of the Avatar channel, normally for Shroud of the Avatar and Ultima Online based videos, but today I'm looking at Legends of Aria, and specifically the community server, Legends of Ultima. You can type in the address here and hit connect, or just select it from the list in community. It will save this as your last server that you chose, so you can just hit connect every time you come in. So let's start a new character. And then later I'll load up my character to show the things I've learned or where I've improved my character. Okay, so we'll just do a basic. I won't go through too much, but it's very basic Ultima Online like customization. Just a few different facial hairs, hair type. Okay, so we are going to choose what type. I am a warrior on my main character. I'm going to go with warrior. Warriors are very good for beginning of the game because they give you the opportunity to kill things more easily, survive more. You're not going to be completely afraid if something comes up to you. If you're a mage, you don't ever want anything to come up to you and hit you. And so even if you did start a mage template, which in my opinion would be a more advanced template to start with, you would have to have some swords and tactics just to be able to fend off things. But then of course you can't wear good armor as a mage, so you're getting hit, taking more damage. You have less strength more than likely. Maybe you have equal strength to intelligence at the very beginning, but your intelligence tends to be slightly more important than strength, than dexterity dead last. So you're going to have no dexterity as a mage. So you can lose your stamina for many different things, and you can't move. So it takes more thought when you're face to face with an opponent than a warrior does. An archer is a good idea as well. It is a semi-advanced template for fighting because it requires arrows. Now you find a lot of arrows in the game, but you do run out. And then buying them early on is fairly expensive. They're like 10 gold a piece. You'll go through 100 arrows really quickly. That's 1,000 gold that you're going to burn through really quickly. If you're fighting only enemies that have arrows or carry arrows, or at least a lot of arrows, then you might be okay, but probably not. Early on it's just too much. Although not impossible. I go ahead and try it. I'm going to do warrior because that's what my character is, and I want to switch to that one later. You can choose swords if you want as a warrior. You can go to fencing if you want, but as a warrior, swords are favored because of the power in the weapons. And especially early on, that's important. And later on as well. In this game, I don't know at endgame stuff what it's like. I still play Ultima Online today. And Ultima Online today is way different than this game is, although not completely. The core is still the same. But this is much more simple, boiled down version of the old Ultima Online, around the Second Age period. What I would suggest here is your swords and tactics will actually fly up. So as you can see, we have 40 points. I would even put tactics down because that will fly up even faster. Okay, so this is the template that I have started to create for this character. We still have 15 skill points, so I'm going to put that in anatomy. Now, swords and tactics will fly up, and you're going to be fighting low-level stuff in the beginning. It's going to go up, and the skill gains in this are better than Ultima Online. So it's important for healing because you want to have 60 healing and 60 anatomy to be able to cure yourself, and that is something in this game that's important. Tactics goes up faster than swords, so that's going to go up because tactics will go up while you're parrying and while you're using your swords. It probably also passively goes up when anatomy goes up, but anatomy also goes up when you heal, when you use swords and tactics. So this will go up faster than healing will. My anatomy got to GM when my healing's still only at 62 point something on my main character. This is going to offer you a better position in a couple hours of play. You'll probably be at or over 60 within a couple hours, and this will probably be there or at or past healing in that time. So strength and dexterity. The most important things for a warrior are strength and dexterity. You don't need anything in intelligence. Now you would want at least up to 6 mana, which is less than the minimum for when you Maybe get a rune book. It might, I think it uses your mana because a rune book lets you recall to a new location, which means you teleport from wherever you are, one city to another city, or customized location that you chose on the map when you had a rune made for it. You can't make runes to teleport as a warrior, so you would have to buy all these, but still, this will offer you the minimum that you need. So I am partial to Vesper, but I believe Britain actually has some a simple graveyard that has some skeletons and stuff. So here's the screen when you first come on. Every day, every 24 hours, I believe, you'll receive 1 hour of increased skill gain. I'm gonna say not now, because you can just that's me. Right click on yourself and hit power hour and choose to start it later. And you want to start it once you actually get to an area where you're going to fight things. You don't want to waste it right now. So let's look at our skill window. You can hit the letter K to look at your skills. This is your favorites. You can have 10 favorites at a time, and you can track, I believe, up to 10 or more skills on the right in like a skill tracker, which is similar to Ultima Online. Anatomy, which we want to follow, which is definitely one of our things. So if you saw that, I went to anatomy. Now we got pages like this that you can cycle through, but it's easier just to go back to this purple tab and then look through here. So the other skills I had, healing, we want to add that to favorites and track it. Hiding is also a good idea. Very good to hide. Doesn't go up quite as fast as Ultima Online, although back in the day in Ultima Online you could just stick a quarter in your keyboard and put hiding on like F4 and it would just repeat over and over and over. You could just walk away for a while, which was not allowed in Ultima Online, but that's actually allowed in this game. Macroing, AFK, macroing away from your keyboard is said to be okay by one of the notices I got. If I'm wrong, I'll update that when I look into it after I make the video, but I'm pretty sure that is true. Although you can't seem to do that on this game. Holding down a button that's assigned to it doesn't work. So item ID is important because you can't pay a vendor to ID a weapon or a piece of armor you get, and you get a lot of unidentified weapons and armor in this game. It's very similar to Diablo. Like my plan with my other character is just to keep it at 50 and keep hiding at 50 until I'm much more comfortable with the game. You know, everything else GM that I use, and then much more comfortable with the game, and then maybe change my template up a little bit later. If you go to your settings, and this is the default. So default is right mouse button click movement, which is just like Ultima Online. This game is not Ultima Online, so the mechanics and the look are totally different. So using the right mouse button for movement is much more difficult than it was in Ultima Online, so I switched to the MMO style WASD movement. And then I customized, because even though this made the movement much more simple, I had to customize some things because of the rotation of the camera. So I added mouse 1 and 2, which on my, it's reading as mouse 1 and 2, but this should be 3, but I did the right mouse button and the middle mouse button wheel push down to move my camera. So right mouse button goes that way, middle mouse button goes this way. So that way when I'm holding W and running, I can just turn it like this, and then my body will also turn the way I'm going. This is way easier in my opinion when you're running long distance and then the right mouse button movement. Also when you're fighting, just use WASD. It's not hard. Spacebar pulls out your weapon, which is not very intuitive to most people because spacebar usually jumps, but there's no jumping in this game as there is not in Ultima Online. Alright, so now we're going to go over how to put stuff on your character that you find. So, you just click and drag off the items, and then when you find something new, you can put it on. Like that, very simple. He's not holding a shield right now. What kind of weapon is he holding? It's a cutlass. Here you can also see your strength, intelligence, dexterity, 50, 10, 20. This will fly up as well. Right now they're all set to go up. I'm going to make intelligence locked. I'm going to lock intelligence because I don't want it to go up. I want only dexterity and strength to go up, and these will fly up to 100. as long as you're fighting. They're not going to fly up on their own, but you're fighting stuff, then it'll go up. You can see your armor rating here, so you can see you have 10 with all this stuff. Once you have a shield too, it'd be a little higher. Hunger, you do have to eat in the game. It causes temporary stat loss. It's fairly minimal, the disadvantage. I think it seems to be more impactful than Ultima Online was. I think you fizzled spells, meaning you failed casting spells here and there a little bit more often. But just, get food. As a mage, you can create food with this spell. You can't do that in here. Okay. We also have bandages, which, if you're hunting enough, almost never run out. They almost never run out. I always pack 250 on my guy, and he is often at about 260 after a couple hours because he picks them up so much. In the beginning of the game, you'll be using more than likely, so you might waste more, but also we started your healing at 50. You're going to be able to heal yourself way better than I did in the beginning if you follow this. Oh, we got a bank check of 3,000 gold. So your bank checks are blessed. You can't use it unless it's in your bank, though. Pointless. And you can buy stuff from the NPC vendors from your bank gold. So let's find the bank. Now the map is terrible. We should go over that real quick. As you can see my mini-map at the top, I hit this button to unlock the mini-map rotation. So that it'll move the direction I'm looking. Because this game is set up to be like Ultima Online with this view, rotate all around 360 degrees. That makes the map very wonky to look at and very difficult to comprehend, especially if you don't know the area, as you won't when you're new to the game. This is a great site to have. It has an interactive map. We are currently right here in Britain. Here's the Britain graveyard I'm going to be going to show you. This is the Moon Gate. I'm going to be showing you that too. Up here, this area is much more dangerous than right here. And as you can see, this looks nothing like Ultima Online. This is Ultima Online. This is just the original land. Anyway, so this is what basically though what the land looks like in all Ultima games. Variation of this kind of look, this curved look like this. That's almost like a reverse Africa shape. This is what people are used to playing Ultima Online. This isn't. This is not at all. And I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it looks nothing like it. So if you're intuiting that, oh, I'm going to run from Vesper to Britain, you're not going to do that because Vesper is way over here and Britain is over where we are, over here. And that comes to another point of the map, that this place is massive compared to Ultima Online. In this region of where Britain's in, from here to here is probably similar in running straight on foot from here all the way down to here. It would probably take the same amount of time, maybe halfway. It doesn't take long. If anyone who's played Ultima Online has made that run from Vesper to Britain, like I did in the early game, that is it's a few minutes of a jaunt through the woods or through the trail. You should have a horse, so run through the swamp as quickly as possible when you were new to get here. And back in 1998 through 2000, you had to run a lot more than you did later when they had rune books, which they also have rune books in this game. The in-game map is terrible. It's a terrible, terrible map. Maybe they'll update it. I think that would be up to Legends of Aria, obviously, and not the Legends of Ultima private server people. You can't do anything. You can't zoom in. You can zoom out and look at the world. You can't seem to go into any region like this. You have to go back to zoom in. So that means whatever region you're in will zoom in. So if I was over here, yeah, you can't. It zooms into wherever you are. Also, as you can see, there aren't landmarks anywhere out over here, which, when you discover them, you see them on your mini-map, but you will not see them on this map. So it's really not a very well-designed map. Ultima Online's map system early on was also pretty bad, possibly worse than this. So if there's something different, let me know in the comments, a better way to do it. But I'm coming from the perspective that you're a new player, as I am a semi-new player, and I'm comparing it to a game that I played for many years called Ultima Online, and that's what it's supposed to be like. So, and also, with the expectation that things would get better. A little bit. It doesn't have, I don't think the people who are nostalgic for Ultima Online are like, oh, I miss a map that's not functional. You can also right click on things like this, just like you could in Ultima Online, to close it. Alright, I get warnings about PKs all the time. I've never been PK'd, or even tried to be PK'd, even in Legends of Aria when I played that a bit. So let's see if we can get PK'd, that'd be great. Just to see what it's like. Oh, it doesn't matter. We're just going to go and fight. I was going to go find a bank, I remembered, but I don't really care right now. So this way is the public moon gate. And the public moon gate will bring you to all the different cities. And right now I am going south. But if you look at the mini-map, it looks like I'm going north, as it's rotating with me. As it's going the direction that I'm going, which I found to be a bit easier than it always facing one direction when it rotates like this all the time. Moongate. So we'll just drop in the Moongate real quick, just to show you what you can do. You just hit go. Mew, Vesper, Papua, Aklo, Nijam, Moonglow, Magincia, Cove, and Britain. Britain is the capital. That's where we are. Vesper was the city I'm partial to because in my early gameplay days of Ultima Online, I always started in Vesper and stayed in Vesper. There's a bear cub. Let's attack it and kill the bear cub. So look at my skills going up a lot like Ultima Online. So as you see over here, my health is going down. Now what we want to do is set some hotkeys or macros. So healing, here we go, I guess over here. There we go. Okay. Alright, I was just trying to remember how to do that. Bandage self with number 1. That's a very important skill. Let's also go to item identification, because you're going to need this. I don't know, 2 is fine. As a warrior, I'm trying to think, what are the skills you're going to want? Hiding, you're going to bring this up for a little while. 1, 2, 3. So now that will go, we'll just do this for a little bit. So let's hit 1 to bandage myself. It automatically bandages myself. If you just chose healing, you could hit the letter G to bandage yourself, or Y or T, I forget what the other one is, it'll show it on the screen to bandage the person next to you. Here, why don't we look at the pack? Open pack. You can see, look, bandages. I got 1. I just used 1, just replaced it. Now, that's one way you can loot. How I normally do it is I right click and just hit loot all, and then messages pop up telling you what you took. So we are in Britain over here, and the graveyard is over here. So it's a little bit west, or a little bit south, and then west of Britain. So we should be close to it. So it should be somewhere over here. It would be nice if it showed it on the map, but it doesn't. There it is. Now I got closer. So pop up Valis Graveyard. This is a good spot for early on in the game. You'll get a bunch of gold for a new character, and then you will gain a lot of skill. The Bone Mage Corpse looks like someone else was in here or is currently in here. I've run into people in here all the time. It's mostly noobs that go in. Also, when you start, you're young. I don't know if I am because this isn't my first character, but you can't be attacked when you're young. By the time you get to a certain skill level, then you're... Oh, someone's friend died. Alright, here we go. So now, you can select him with tab, and if you're in war mode, when you hit double, the space bar, you'll automatically attack him, or you can just double click him with your sword. So it's going up. The skills are going up. Now you got healing. You can bandage yourself as you're fighting. And that's a good tactic. Every time you lose a sliver, it's a good tactic to have a bandage going, because this has 14-second delay, because my healing and anatomy are so low. I'm not entirely certain if anatomy increases that or just the healing skill increases the time delay, but I feel like it must, because when I was at 50 and I had over 50 anatomy, I think it was like 9 seconds. Okay, loot all. As you can see here, 101 coins. I got an arrow, some nightshade, and garlic, black pearls. Create food scroll, which is a mage scroll. If you played Ultima Online, you know what all that stuff is. I'm not going to go into details on that. Puppy corpse. Someone tamed a bear, named it Puppy, and it died. Okay, so here is my main character. As you can see, I have the 100 strength, 100 dex, 25 intelligence. I corrected the hair bug. When you put stuff on your helmet on your head, your hair came through your helmet. I corrected that by making my guy bald. Because it looked stupid. I don't know why they haven't fixed that glitch, visual glitch in the game, but they haven't. So we are in Britain again, which is where I left you in the newbie character. From here you can see a little bit of the things I've made, like I put a waypoint on. This one actually is Aklo. So I knew where Aklo was when I just looked at the map, because it doesn't say, just when you look at the map and you're far away, it doesn't say which city. And I'm new to it, so I have to be reminded. I've obviously this isn't reminder isn't very intelligent because it just says new waypoint, but you can edit that. And I can say I can put it like a little town image and say, is it two C's, I believe, something like that. Whatever. Okay, Aklo. Okay, up north, west of Britain, there is an area I marked on my way to a dungeon. Okay, so this area northwest of Britain is an area I marked where there are undead that were a little tough, and they dropped quite a bit of gold, in between 300 to 500 gold. Also, they were helping raise my resisting spells, which is only at 31 right now. Healing on this character is at 62.3, so I didn't start at 50 like I did earlier with the other character in this video. Otherwise it would have been much higher by now. But my anatomy's at 100, so my healing is pretty good. I do have the ability to cure myself. It's not perfect yet, so I still have my magery, which was the remedy I gave for the character creation suggestion that I made earlier in this video, to avoid having to do magery, so that you could cure as soon as possible. This is going up, though. In the meantime, once this gets to more like in the 70 range, I can safely drop magery more than likely. The higher the poisons too, the low cure probably isn't, with my only 44.5 magery, isn't really going to do much, and I don't want to keep bringing it up too much. So you can see my cap is 700, just like everyone's. I still have, over 50 points without having to lower anything. So I still have time to have this, temporary template. But eventually what it will be is 100 tactics, swords, parry, and anatomy, 100 resisting spells, 100 healing, and then 50 hiding and 50 item identification. The item identification, even at 35.5, works very well. If anyone who plays Ultima Online knows that 100 isn't exactly 100% though. That's why I can't just assume I have a 35% success rate. For instance, if you have 100 magery, you can still fizzle an 8th circle spell more than once when you're attempting. So that template is so this template is for a warrior, and I am starting off as a warrior to make my money and get built up, so I can add a character that's like a treasure hunter or an animal tamer, because an animal tamer would be a very lucrative and powerful character. But that's what are going on with the skills right now. The character, this is him on a horse. Horse, obviously, a much better way to travel. Your horses have to be bonded if you want them to survive a death, which sounds stupid, surviving a death, but to be able to be resurrected. And it takes, I think, 10 days. Let's see if I can give affection. You can speed it up by right-clicking and saying here you is where you would say start bonding. And then you can give affection. Okay, so it's strengthened. Now I can do it again tomorrow at 6:08 in the morning, UTC. And then it'll be bonded on the 7th of May. But I believe it increases the speed every time you show affection. So if you come on daily and show affection, it should shorten the time. Because this has only been 1 day since I had this horse now. and it's already closer than 10 days, so that's cool. I don't know how many days it'll end up being. I don't know how it works. Anyway, I put on this saddle deed on this horse to give him this fancy stuff. It apparently helps a little bit with armor on the horse, as well as apparently helps you not get dismounted from monsters that hit you and dismount you a lot. Haven't noticed that yet, but we'll see. I'll go up to this little undead area. There were also trolls around. Here's a troll right there. Look at that. Speak of the devil. Come on, Mr. Trolley. Oh, I don't have my macro set up to bandage self. That's stupid. Oh, I see. I, for some reason, dragged my bandages. Okay. Okay. So I'm doing the tactic still to heal myself every time I have damage, so that I can see my healings going up. I want this to get as high as possible because I want to get rid of Majory, stop carrying reagents on me. And I have some Ultima Online videos I've made that help with very specific things in Ultima Online, but I will be going over a video that with the a UI mod on Ultima Online called Pinko's, and that I will be discussing other things as well in videos like that, that have to do with skills and templates, and a lot of that will translate onto this. So I'm not gonna be all arrogant and make a video on this game about how to build skills and templates and stuff on characters when I'm so new to this actual game. And since since I'm a veteran on Ultima Online, you know, I feel more comfortable talking about it on there. And like I said, a lot of it will translate. This could be a rough fight, but hopefully it'll bring my skills up a lot. It's fairly easy to run away in this game. When you're newer, you can get hurt a lot quicker, so it's not as easy to run away. But when you're a little bit, you know, you're getting a little stronger, like my character, you can kind of, you know, be ballsy and do a bit more. And as you can see, they're really stupid. See how they stop? Oftentimes I can just go like that. So now I just got that guy coming. Now I got him away from her. You know, so in some ways that's really cool, but in other ways the game is obviously broken in some aggro ways. Like, some of the guys will not attack you. I have a video in the Misty Caverns, which leads to the Dungeon of Wind, and also apparently Covetous, which doesn't make any sense to Ultima Online people, but Covetous is somewhere around Wind in the same caves. But there are mobs in there that just won't attack you at all, it seems, and then some will just turn around and forget to attack you for a good 10 seconds at times, and it's very weird. Also, it's really easy for them to hit them and make them forget that they were trying to run away to save their lives. So the tactic of healing yourself, and I just hit tab to switch to the next person, and it just starts attacking. So the tactic of healing yourself every time you get even a small amount of damage, because it takes, you know, I have a 7-second delay for healing. So your health will go down, and that'll make sure your health is, because it most likely will go down more than the 5 hit points you're missing in the time you heal yourself. And you don't want it to suddenly get down really low like it is right now. And then, because I would have been, then if I'd waited, then I'd still be at like 50 right now while I'm waiting to heal. But now at least I'm up to 95. So like, it's just how you heal yourself in this game. Because when you're using bandages. If you're a mage and you have greater heal, do it however, you know, As soon as you have 30 hit points or more gone, whatever it is you decide, then you do it that way. But trying to get him to stay closer this way so that he doesn't run back towards those guys when he runs away, which he inevitably will run away. Oh, he's still... See, and that happened. Okay, we'll fight this guy for a while. Now we have 3 guys, great. 2 archers also. Seem to be doing okay though, so. There's a lot of this game. I was just trying to make something for people who are new to this game from the perspective of someone who's, you know, a little bit ahead, you know, that's figured out some of the nuance and the, you know, eccentricities of this game, and also comes from an Ultima Online background. So this is supposed to be, you know, it's supposed to be aimed at people that played Ultima Online, but also understanding that a lot of people may not have. And so, you know, if you're new, you know, hopefully it wasn't too condescending, you know, explaining how healing works or whatever. But, you know, it is a helpful tactic to know if you don't have any background in this kind of game. I'm going to do things that are more specific, like rune books, and other, you know, types of working on certain specific skills maybe, or, you know, making gold, or building templates. Like I said before, it might be just in my Ultima Online videos, and I would mention in there what would translate to this, and vice versa. Or if I do continue to play this and get better, I might do that as well. I can see playing this game, at least casually, not as much as, I mean, I still play Ultima Online, so that takes up more of my time. I still play a little bit of Shroud of the Avatar. This game definitely is up there above Shroud of the Avatar in the way that, it's equal because it has the same type. It's a very UO-like game, skill gains and stuff, and even more so like UO. So if you like UO, you probably like this more than Shroud of the Avatar. Similar look to UO, but still has the 360 degrees you can turn around. So, you know, 2.5D graphics. What is better about it is, even though it doesn't seem to be, you know, full of questing and things like that, just going out and hunting in the different areas and dungeons to explore is way more doable, way more enticing and compelling than Shroud of the Avatar is. Shroud of the Avatar has several great areas that I like, but they're done. I'm totally done with them. Like, once you do them a couple times, there's nothing new there. There's nothing, you know, and once you get up to it, you just also are overpowered for it very quickly. And then there's areas that are really hard that you need a large group to go out and do. And I don't like to play with large groups that often, very rarely. Shroud beats it in some things. And housing in Shroud of the Avatar, when you're actually in your house, you make a house and you decorate it. There isn't a game that beats Shroud of the Avatar for decorating a house and having an awesome looking house. Ultima Online, you can customize houses down to the shape and like everything they look like. You can customize it way more in Ultima Online, but it's not nearly as impressive as a house in Shroud of the Avatar. But that's pretty much where Shroud of the Avatar where it stops being way better. Quest wise, it's okay, lacking quests, but that wouldn't be a big deal if it had the kind of hunting and adventuring you could do in Ultima Online and in this game, where you can just go out and find interesting places without worrying about a quest. Shroud, it doesn't have this seamless world where you run out of town, and in between towns that there is a dynamic world. It is an overview, overland map. It's basically like you're running on a map, and then you zone into an area, which was a huge letdown for a lot of people that when they first started the game. Like when I first started backing Shroud on Kickstarter, that was a big deal breaker for me. I stopped going on the pre-release alpha phase, whatever it was, for a good year and a half, because when I found out that they weren't going to change that and make it more like Ultima Online, where you can run around, or every other game on the planet, like World of Warcraft, where you can run from town to town through land. That is a very important aspect of MMOs, in my opinion. I got over it and continued playing Shroud the Avatar, and you know, played it quite a bit, made friends on there, and you know, got pretty good on it. You know, I wasn't near like a top player or anything, but I was, you know, a good casual player. Is where I would put myself in Shroud the Avatar, like a pretty decent and wealthy casual player. So this game beats Shroud of the Avatar in that aspect. It is equal to Ultima Online in many ways, but movement-wise and controls, it is lacking compared to Ultima Online. It also seems to be more difficult to find areas to hunt in than Ultima Online, but it's hard for me to say that because of how long it's been since I first started Ultima Online, and I already know everything, where everything is. I do recommend it, though. It's also free to play. I think you just have to buy... Well, Legends of Aria you can download for free on Steam, but I don't know if you can play the community servers without buying the base game. That might be a thing, because the Legends of Ultima page said that it's a one-time purchase of the game, then you can play forever on Legends of Ultima. I bought the game before it went on Steam, and then when it went on Steam, it was free to play, and I felt kind of stupid, but I don't know. It might have been beneficial to me. If you have any questions, leave me a message, or if you have a request for Ultima Online content or help, you can reach out to me. I'll even help you in the game. I'm on Pacific. Also, if you have a question about Shroud the Avatar, you can feel free. I'll help you on there too if you're interested. I do have some Shroud videos if you want to check them out. And this channel is actually called Solo of the Avatar. It was initially meant to be Shroud the Avatar and Ultima Online only content, but this Legends of Ultima qualifies as Ultima content. The channel now is going to be gearing more towards Ultima Online content until Shroud the Avatar actually releases more content to make a video about. Okay, thanks for watching the video. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below.